Hey, what's up, guys? Tony here, and welcome to Week 14 of the NFL season and Week 14 of Scott McLean's Be an NFL Superstar. And this week, the San Diego Chargers are hosting the Buffalo Bills, and it is the Battle of the White Helmets. Anyways, what I want to do, as the title suggests, I have a topic at hand. But what I want to do first is run through this week's predictions and just kind of go over quickly as I can who I think is going to win and who I think is going to lose. All right, starting off, Cleveland Browns, Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh, of course. Although, what was it, this last week, or was it Monday? I think it was Monday. Anyways, Big Ben, he went and rolled his high ankle sprain or something, so we'll see how that affects him. But Pittsburgh, if he plays, he should play. It'll be Pittsburgh over Cleveland. Indianapolis at Baltimore. That's pretty obvious, Baltimore. I don't think Indianapolis is just, I think they're going to strive for the winless season. I would if I was them. I know the players don't want to, but I think it's going to happen. Atlanta and Carolina. I'm going to go with Atlanta just because it's just like, okay, you know what? Cam Newton, good quarterback, but the team in general, just, I don't know. So Atlanta. Houston and Cincinnati. Now, this is kind of a tough one because the Texans have had a quarterback situation, obviously, with Schaub going down and then Leinart breaking his collarbone, and they have T.J. Yates, I believe, started last week, and he won. And so this week, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like, well, he's a rookie quarterback. I don't know. And, of course, he's going again against Dalton, I think his name is. He's a rookie quarterback with the Bengals. But the Bengals have been playing well, so I'm going to go with the Bengals just because of the fact that Dalton's been playing longer. Maybe they just had an established rapport. So we'll go with the Bengals. Minnesota and Detroit, that's another one of those. Just like, oh, that's an easy one. Detroit, yeah, it's the Vikings. They're not the same as they were. The Warren Moon days need to come back. Or was it, oh no, Dontel Culpepper. Wow. That's a hard name to pronounce, apparently. Here's another hard game. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the thing. Last week, the Chargers beat up on the Jaguars, and they, at the time, had the fourth best defense. And then, of course, after the game, they were ranked number 5 in the NFL. So I'm going to go with the Jaguars to beat the Buccaneers. I don't know. Anyway, so we're going to go Jaguars over the Buccaneers. Those are just some tough ones. The Eagles at the Dolphins. Eagles, the dream team, of course, over the Dolphins. Although, who was it recently that the Dolphins upset? They beat up on a good team recently. I can't remember what team it was for the life of me. I should. Anyways, well, we're going to go beyond that. So we're going to go with the Eagles. Kansas City and the Jets. I'm going to take the Jets of New York via Jersey over the Chiefs. Chiefs have just fallen from grace. Like last season, I don't know what the hell. They just were playing for crappy. They start playing great, and then they started playing great at a stretch of like 4 games. They're playing great, and then now they're just kind of mediocre and crappy. So I'm glad because they're in my division. So be crappy, Kansas City. Let's see here, New Orleans and Tennessee. New Orleans, of course. I mean, who would? I don't know. It's one of those teams like week in and week out you always pick because they're so good. And it's kind of nice to see, like obviously Drew Brees play well. He's quietly building up a great season. Like nobody really is paying attention to Drew Brees because Aaron Rodgers is taking all the thunder of the quarterback situation. But yeah, that guy Drew Brees, he's a stud. And then of course Darren Sproles is having a good season too. We let him go, and of course he has a great season with New Orleans. So New England and Washington. New England. I don't even know if I have to elaborate anymore on that. It's Tom Brady. Oh, my buddy from Boston is just like, Tom Brady is the best quarterback ever to play the game. And so anyways, New England. Here's another. Well, I don't know, it's not a tough one. San Francisco and Arizona. I'm going to go with San Francisco. I mean, they've been on a roll. I guess so. Yeah, they've been on a roll. They had the Harbaugh Cup there, 2 weeks ago now or something like that? Anyways, San Francisco, Arizona. I mean, it's Arizona. They're like, 2-9 or something right now? It's ridiculous. Chicago and Denver. This one hurts me. If Jay Cutler was still playing, I think he's on the DL still. I think he's out for the season with that broken thumb. If he was still playing, Cutler was still playing, I think he could beat the Broncos, his old team. I just got a feeling because they're without a good, solid quarterback, the Broncos are going to win, which sucks because I need the Broncos to lose. So I'm looking forward to being wrong on that one, and also because of the topic at hand. And see here, Oakland and Green Bay. Oh, come on. I mean, the Raiders going to Green Bay. I mean, the Raiders are playing well. Last week, not so much. Maybe it was Raiders the Dolphins beat. Was it Raiders? Anyways, the Raiders, they have been playing strong. They've been playing strong football. So we'll see if they can go into Lambeau Field and beat the Packers. And Lord Display was talking about how he's like, oh, if any team is going to upset the perfect season, it's going to be the Raiders. And the AFC West is great about upsets. You know, a couple like 5 or 6 years ago or something like that, the Colts were on that perfect season. San Diego goes to Indianapolis and we just walked them. It was nice, you know, to upset Peyton Manning and the whole Manning family because of what they did to the Chargers. Anyways, I'm moving on. Buffalo and San Diego. San Diego. I was worried about the Buffalo game, but the Bills I think they're on like a 5-game slide, which makes them especially dangerous because they're hungry for a win, but they're not playing at that same caliber they were at the beginning of the season. It's like they were totally pumped for the season and they just fizzled out. The Giants and the Cowboys. I'm going to pick the Giants week in and week out. I kind of like when it gets like big heads-up games like a Manning against Romo, I usually expect Romo to fail. So we're going to go with the Giants. And the last game on the docket is I almost called them the St. Louis Cardinals. Pujols, that situation's on my mind, which I got to do a Major League MLB 11 video because I've got some things to talk about, which you guys probably already know. Anyways, the Rams and the Seahawks. I'm going to go with the Seahawks. Pete Carroll deserves a win. And the Rams, well, you know, they're just... So... Anyways, those are my predictions for this week. I don't have what I've been totally, and I lost track because the school's been kicking my ass. So, yeah, I don't have my season record. But I've been doing okay, you know, week in and week out. Some weeks I haven't done predictions because I've been busy or some shit. But here's the topic at hand. I want to talk about Tim Tebow. Now, I need to preface this conversation by saying that I am not a Tebow hater. I'm not a Tebow fan either. I think that he is an interesting quarterback that brings a new dynamic to, actually, you know, it's kind of like an old dynamic because he plays like quarterbacks used to play. They used to be the guys who ran the ball, they'd pass if they needed to, or they'd option the ball. So he's like the oldest of old school quarterback styles. Anyways, what I think he brings to the NFL is I don't want to call it a college-like play style, but it's a different play style. It's the Michael Vick, the quarterback that can scramble and run. He makes the defense, you know, sort of second guess what they're going to do because he is dangerous scrambling. He can rush for 50, 60 yards a game, which is ridiculous because that's what a running back's supposed to be doing, 60-plus yards a game. His passing game is not very strong right now. He's definitely a guy who relies on scrambling. I mean, one game. Here's the thing. Here's my problem. My problem with Tebow is not Tebow. Like I said, I hated Cutler when he was on the Broncos just because he was on the Broncos and he had a ongoing feud with Phillip Rivers. So I just didn't like the guy personally because, you know, he just hates my quarterback and my quarterback hates him. Tebow is just the reason why I'm not a big, like I said, it's not that I'm not a fan of Tebow. It's the fans, the fanatics, the Tebowites, the people who think that this guy is the best quarterback to ever play the game, and he's won, 5 in a row or something like that. Yeah, those people who just blindly think he's the best quarterback ever without even objectively looking at his play, because the commentators week in and week out, they're all over Tim Tebow, you know, and people are calling him a winner. I don't believe he's a winner yet. He's won, 5-1 as a starter. That's not even a half of a season yet, so you can't really call him a winner. He's won half of a season of football. Now, I'd have to look at his overall stats, and I don't have them in front of me. But he hasn't really proven himself. There's a thing in Major League Baseball where you can't tell if a guy's a good hitter until he has over 1,500 plate appearances. That's when you can determine what kind of hitter he is. And it's like in football. I think you need to play a certain amount of games before you can say this guy's a great quarterback or this guy's a shitty quarterback. And right now, the way I see it is the defenses haven't gotten used to his play style. They haven't really worked to contain him. Now, I saw the Vikings did a great job, I think it was last week, of containing him up until the end. And then, of course, they lost that containment and they just couldn't reel him in. But he still threw less than 200 yards. The guy his passing game is really weak. I don't want to call it subpar, but it's weak. He's weak in that area. And I think if defenses can make him stay in the pocket and throw the ball, then they're going to beat him. So, yeah, like I said, I think he brings an interesting dynamic to the NFL, and I think he makes the position a little bit more exciting than it already is. I don't want to give him too much credit. That's what people are doing. They're giving him way too much credit for the little amount of work that he's done. If he were to suddenly, take the Broncos and win the Super Bowl, that's something different. If he does that this season, which heaven forbid he doesn't, because then that'll just make him the second coming in everyone's mind now, I'll say, he's a good quarterback. Right now, I can't pass that judgment because he hasn't even played a full season yet. As I've described him before, he's a second string running back that happens to throw the ball. That's kind of like how I describe him. Now, this might sound a little hateful, but it's just the reality of the situation. He's just not that great of a passer yet. But his strength is his running game. And if you're the quarterback, your job is to, one, be the leader, and now whatever way you can do that. So, yeah, he's a leader. He's definitely leading his team. But he's not like a true passer. He doesn't have that true quarterback, I should say true in the modern sense. Because, there's no rules on how to play the position of quarterback. You can play it however the hell you want to, whatever your strength is. And that's great because he's playing to his strength, and Denver's allowing him to, then they're playing him to his strength. And it's led to some victories, 2 or 3 in overtime or something like that. I know the Chargers one was in overtime, which pissed me off. It's like, God, how'd we lose this guy? But anyways, yeah, that's my little spiel about Tim Tebow. I don't think he's the second coming that everyone says he is. I don't want to say he's overrated, but people are praising him for not doing enough. He hasn't done enough in my book to warrant the praise that he's getting, because when he played against San Diego, he passed for less than 150 yards and 1 touchdown, and people called his play spectacular. I'm like, are you serious? Like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning in his day, Aaron Rodgers, those are spectacular quarterbacks. The guy that rushed for 60 yards and threw for less than 150, that's not spectacular play at all. So, anyways, that's my spiel. I'm putting some points on the board, and I've run out of time. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll talk to you later.